Have you ever stopped and thought about the water that you drink? It seems pretty simple, right? But it's far from simple. In fact, its journey is also far from simple. Water is ancient. In fact, it's been around for the billions of years, and it's the water that you drink today. 4.6 billion years to be exact. That's older than dinosaurs and the solar system. That's an amazing journey. Hi, I'm your host Akshay, and in this episode, I'm going to take you behind the scenes into this amazing journey and take a deep dive into this amazing science of water and unveiling the vast history of water. Let's get right into this. Water has a very, very long journey till it makes to your cup or to your bathtub, and part of that has the reason of how water is over 4.6 billion years ago. Let's rewind all the way to the beginning when our universe was just a little baby. Back then there were stars and there were lots of elements that those stars made. And when those stars exploded, they released those elements. In fact, we have a whole nother episode on stars and all these elements. But these stars basically made all these elements. And the most important, that's right, they're hydrogen and oxygen. Those are two elements that bond and make up water. Now, if we fast forward a few billion years into the future towards what we call Earth. So the Earth is starting to form, and then all this water somehow appears. Now, it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Scientists think it might have arrived on comets or it might have just been on Earth since the start. But this water is the main thing for life to evolve. Now, this water, it's been around for a long time, right? So when we say that the water has been around for a long time, we're talking about the teeny tiny itsy bitsy little water molecules, those H2O molecules, or water molecules that make up all the water around us and they're inside of us, that are everywhere. Now, how does this water move around? And how do we drink the same water the dinosaurs drank? Well, that's all thanks to the water cycle. The water cycle is how water moves around, and it moves through different phases on Earth. First is it in a liquid phase when it rains down. That's called precipitation. And then evaporation and condensation. Let's break this water cycle down a little bit. First, let's start off with just water sitting there. As the sun starts to heat it up, the water molecules gain energy and they start to become gases, and this gas rises up into the atmosphere. Now the atmosphere is kind of cold, right? So this water starts to cool back down and condenses into clouds. After it condenses, if there's a lot of water in those clouds, it starts to fall down. And that's what we call the rain or snow. And that's what's known as precipitation. And then this last stage is what happens when it rains down. What happens to the water? It runs off. Either it goes into storm and sewer drains, or back then it used to go into streams, even glaciers, and most importantly, the rivers, lakes, and oceans. So that is the water cycle. Now, what role does that have to play in water being so old? Wait, hold up right there. Before we get on with some more amazing water facts, I just want to remind you to subscribe to this YouTube channel below and leave a like on this video. It really encourages me to keep making new episodes, and you'll be up to date on all the new episodes that will be coming out. So don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends and family. Thank you so much, and now on to the amazing facts. Let's get back into it. Well, this water moves around, right? So there's always a fixed amount of water on Earth. No matter what, there's always a fixed amount of water on Earth. And this water is all reused. That's so amazing, right? That's part of the reason why water is so old. The molecules are inside them, and that water, it's been through a lot. In fact, when we say that the same water we drink is the same water the dinosaurs drank, that's true, because this water has been circulating in this water cycle for years and years and years, and we drink that same water that was around when the dinosaurs, or maybe even when the dinosaurs drank. So, how do we know all this information about all this ancient water, as I like to call it? Well, that's all thanks to the expert work of scientists. Scientists can use clues in the fossil record and history to find out all this information about water. And a really important thing that water leaves behind, it's called water fossil. And again, water is not a living thing, but deep down under the ocean, there's hints of water that have not been disturbed by anything, and they've been locked away for millions, even billions of years. And those pockets of water, that's what scientists study to find out all this information about water and all this information about the water cycle, everything. Water is truly amazing. We take it for granted every single day. Even some places on Earth don't even have water, but we take it for granted every day, but we don't realize that there's so much going on behind the scenes, and that little glass of water that's sitting on your table, it has been through a lot. That's part of the reason why we should protect water from pollution, and we should keep water safe and equal to everyone on Earth. We need water, and we need to preserve that water so that it can be ancient forever. It should last forever because this water is already billions of years old. So we gotta let it reach its. Let's see. Let's count this: 3 billion, 4 billion, 5 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion, 8 billion, maybe 100 billionth birthday. We gotta wish that water 100 billionth birthday. So that's why you have to preserve it. So that is why water is so old. It is amazing. Just think about it. But before I go take a deep dive into this pool because it's really hot in here, let's review what we learned in this amazing and watery episode. Let's get right into it. What did we learn in this episode? In this episode, we learned that water is over 4.6 billion years old. How is that even possible? Well, this ancient water is that old because of the water cycle and the age of these molecules that are all around us. Back when stars were exploding and when the universe was first forming, these stars would put out elements into space, and those elements would get together, and specifically, hydrogen and oxygen would get together to form water. And this water was on Earth, and it's been this water molecules that are in the glass of water on your table, it's over 4.6 billion years old. And that water is so old because of the water cycle. It keeps cycling through this water cycle, and we're drinking the same water that the dinosaurs drank. Isn't that amazing? That's the amazing science of water and the amazing history of this ancient water. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Spectacular Science. Spectacular Science is produced and hosted by me, Akshay Jayaraman. Our theme song and additional music are by Charan Ramachandran. Please visit my website, spectacularsci.com, to find interactive activities, articles, and blog posts. That's spectacularsci.com. Do you have a question about science that you want to ask and be featured on this show and get a special shout out? Well, head over to spectacularsci.com/contact and grab an adult to send a question that you have about science through our contact form or our email address, which is listed on the website. Again, that's spectacularsci.com/contact. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to your amazing science questions. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Spectacular Science wherever you're listening right now. It really encourages me, and you'll be up to date on all the new episodes. Subscribe and share this podcast with your friends and family. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of Spectacular Science next week. Keep thinking about science.